We're going to take the previous version of our server, which would, if you remember, have the limitation of not accepting more than one connection at a time, and make it accept multiple connections. The function that we are going to use for that is called select, and it's one of the oldest way to do asynchronous programming. This is not exactly per se asynchronous, since the logic will still be fairly linear. So let's get started with what we had earlier. And the select code will take a list of sockets that it needs to monitor. So I would create a list of sockets with only the listener that we have, and call select on it. Select takes three parameters: a read socket list, a write socket list, and error socket list. So for the time being, I'm only interested in reading. This example will not deal with error handling for simplicity. So select is a blocking call, and the last parameter is a timeout. Passing -1 means that we don't have any timeout, and the select call can block forever. When it returns, it means that one of the sockets in our sockets list is now ready. So we're going through every socket, and if the socket is our listener socket, it means that we are able to accept the connection. If we call accept, it will not block. So I moved the accept call up there, knowing that now it will not block, and I get a new socket connection as before. I need to add it to the list because now we want to monitor this new connection. The select call has a side effect that the list that we pass is actually modified, and therefore, if I want to keep my previous list, I actually need to pass a copy. So I make read sockets a copy of the original socket list, and that's the one that I'm passing to select. So I assume that read socket will be reset every time I call select, basically. So now I can add a connection to sockets, knowing that that one will not be modified. If it's not socket, the current socket is not the listener, it means that it's one of the new connections, the connections that we have accepted earlier. So I move the logic of reading that was in the while loop into the else statement. The logic of the read is different than before, because before we had only one connection, and therefore we could loop through that connection until it was closing. But in this case, I have several connections, and therefore I need to read from one of the connection that is available. I read as much as I can, and then I can move to the next one. So the idea here is that I call receive as earlier, getting a byte count, and then generate a string. But if there are more data than I can accept at this moment, because, for example, my buffer is too small and I'm receiving more than 100K, this is not a problem. The receive we leave this data behind, and the next iteration of the outer loop, the while true, we'll see that read sockets is also the same socket is also available for more reading. So essentially, the loop that was in the inner loop that was around the receive is now part of the outer while true. If I receive 0, it actually indicates that the peer has closed, and I can remove the socket from my list of monitor sockets. So I change I remove the usage of the string buffer, since I can output the string right away, and I'm running also some messages to show when I open and close the connection. So let's try it out with 2 connections this time, and we can see that this is working as expected. I have 2 connections, and what I type for one connection appears in my console. What I type for the other connection is sort of appearing in my console. And when I close one, I still can work with the other connection. I can also open and close connection at will. So this server now accepts multiple connections